Families, aviation industry still reeling from Air India crash. It's been 1 week since an Air India jet bound for London crashed shortly after takeoff in the city of Ahmedabad in western India. The accident is being described as one of the worst aviation disasters in the past decade. Of the 242 people on board, only one passenger survived. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner struck a residential neighborhood, causing widespread devastation on the ground. The total death toll has reportedly exceeded 270. Questions are now being asked about what went wrong with what is considered a state-of-the-art aircraft. We are now joined by our New Delhi bureau chief Mitamaro Sotaro. How has the investigation into the crash been proceeding so far? Yes, Indian aviation authorities have launched an investigation, and the government has also set up a high-level committee to look into the possible causes. Officers from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration are conducting an investigation. Two investigators plan to analyze flight data from the plane's black box. Decoding of the black box is going to give a in-depth insight into what would have actually happened during the process of the crash, or moments before the crash itself. Investigators are focusing on whether issues with the flaps, engine flats, or the landing gear were to blame, citing sources close to the investigation. The Wall Street Journal reported on Wednesday that the plane's emergency power generator was likely activated before the crash. This has raised questions about whether the engines were operating normally during takeoff. Now, the Boeing 787 is an aircraft that's widely used on long-haul routes. So how has the industry responded to the crash? While the 787 Dreamliner is used by airlines across the world, including Japan's own Nippon Airways and Japan Airlines. In the past, the 787 had faced battery problems, including cases of smokes and fire, but it had reportedly never been involved in a fatal crash until now. The accident has sent shock waves through the industry. An urgent inspection have been launched by Wednesday. Air India had inspected 26 of its 33 Dreamliner aircraft. No major issues were reported. How about the people directly affected by the crash? I went to Ahmedabad and spoke with grieving relatives gathered at the hospitals where the bodies of the victims are being kept. Many were overwhelmed with emotion, struggling to process the sudden loss of their loved ones. The aircraft crashed into a populated area, and the victims included people on the ground. Among the casualties were medical students and staff after the plane struck a hostel belonging to a nearby University Hospital on Tuesday. Local doctors, students, and medical workers held a candlelight memorial to honor the dead. For now, families are still reeling from the shock, but they say it's vital to determine the cause of the crash to ensure such a tragedy is never repeated.